Hello, Mrs. Jackson here. We're going to take a look at how to solve multi-step equations, and in this case we have a single solution. Alright, so we got a bunch of stuff going on here. We've got some variable terms on both sides of the equal sign. We've got a grouping here, in this case in parentheses, and we've got a fraction in front of it that we're going to have to deal with. Okay, so just quick review, we want to get the variable terms, the like terms together on one side of the equal sign. We want to get the constants together, or the numbers, on the other side of the equal sign. Alright, so what can we do here? Well, the first thing, we could always use the distributive property to get everything broken out of those parentheses. In this case, 3 halves times 2x, simple enough. 3 times 2x is 6x, divided by 2 would be 3x. Great, like that type of number. But the 3 halves times 5 is going to give us another fraction. So we would have 15 divided by 2. Still nothing wrong with that. We could do that. But I tend to not do that if I'm going to propagate more fractions. So in this case, I don't think I want to do the distributive property. I think I'm going to do the inverse operation here of division. So in this case, this whole 3 times this grouping here is really being divided by 2. So I'd like to undo that division with multiplication. Alright, so I'm going to multiply this side, if you will, by 2. And if I do that on one side of the equal sign, I got to multiply the other by 2. So that is the multiplication property of equality. Alright, fair enough. Well, 2 divided by itself reduces to 1, so that some people would say that cancels. In which case, we can easily now use that distributive property and take care of that 3. So we've got 3 times 2x is 6x, plus 3 times 5 is 15. And we're going to use that distributive property over here to the right as well. 2 times 4x is 8x, and 2 times 9 is 18. Great. Now we want to get these like terms together. So we've got some variable terms with an x. We've got some constants. So let's take care of these variable terms first. Alright, we've got 6x and 8x. Okay, so we want to get these together. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to use inverse operations. In this case, the 6x is effectively being added to 15, and the 8x is being added to the 18. How do we undo add? We undo add with subtraction. We could subtract 8x from both sides, or we could subtract 6x from both sides. It really doesn't matter. You just have to be careful with your signs. I think I'm going to choose to subtract the 6x from both sides. And in this case, then, we have 6x minus itself reduces to 0, effectively cancels. We've got 15 coming down. 8x minus 6x is 2x, and then we have the 18 coming down. Now at this point, we want to get these constants together here. We've got 18, and we've got 15. Well, we always go straight to the unknown. In this case, the unknown is on the right-hand side. It's being multiplied by 2, and we're also adding 18. We're going to work from the bottom of order operations up. Okay, so we've got to undo that addition first, and we're going to undo addition, as always, with subtraction. Whatever I do on one side, I got to do on the other. Alright, so 18 minus itself reduces to 0. 15 minus 18 is negative 3. And we've got the 2x coming down. Finally, we go straight to the unknown and undo what's around it. We've got multiplication, 2 times x, so we're going to undo that with division. Again, division property of equality, do it on the same side of the equal sign. 2 divided by itself reduces to 1. And we've got an answer here, what we think is an answer. And we have negative 3 halves. Now, please don't draw the conclusion, oh, it's not an integer, must be no solution. Negative 3 halves is an answer. It is a perfectly fine number. It's a real number, and it's also a fraction. Or you could rewrite that as a decimal if you wanted to, negative 1 5/10. We should always check your answer, however. So how do we do that? We substitute. So I'm going to go back to my original equation. I have 3 halves, and everywhere I see an x, I'm going to substitute in this what we think is our answer, negative 3 halves I'm going to go ahead and use brackets here. And what do we hope to see? Well, we hope to see true equality. We're going to use the order of operations on each side of the equal sign, and hopefully we're going to see equality here. So I've got to work on the inside here, order of operations. I've got to work inside the grouping first. So I'm going to keep my 3/2 out here, leave it alone. I've got 2 times 3/2. That's -6 divided by 2 is -3 plus 5. And we've got 4 times -3/2. That would be -12 divided by 2 is -6. Just bring that 9 down. Okay, over here on the left, I'm still working inside that group. So I've got 3/2 on the outside, and I've got +2. And on the right side, I've got -6 plus 9 is 3. Finally, go ahead and multiply these together. We've got 6 divided by 2. And we've got 3 over here, and everything checks out. 3 equals 3, true statement. Therefore, my conclusion is -3/2 is my single solution. All right, so solving multi-step equations with one solution. Thanks for listening.